Hey everybody, it's Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat. I'm talking with Iaquinta, who is facing Ross Pearson at UFC Fight Night Sydney. And Al, I know you've been in Australia now for a few days already. What was the plan to go there early and get acclimated? How long did you plan to spend before the fight?
The plan was to get out here early, get used to everything, and get a few really good days of training in before the weight cut.
Yeah.
I left New York 12 days before, got here 10 days before the fight, so that's more than enough time to get acclimated and get used to everything.
Yeah, I went to Sydney. It's been a couple of years ago now. That flight, I mean, from LA, that flight was brutal. For you, that must have killed you, right?
Yeah, I was expecting the worst, so
Yeah.
it actually was a little better than I thought.
Oh,
It
yeah?
was yeah, I plus, I was training really, really hard
Yeah.
leading up to the flight, so it was good to get like 20 somewhat hours of rest and recovery on the plane. So
That's
it was, I kept an optimistic mind about it.
right. Well, that's good. Now, so do you, how many guys did you bring with you then from Serra-Longo, or do you already have, like friends down there that you knew in advance that you'd be able to train with?
Yeah, I brought my teammate Johnny Bonilla Bowman,
Mhm.
who's
Hello.
he's over there somewhere.
I think I saw a picture of him on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah. So he came down with us, and Aljamain Sterling, who's
Yeah.
still in limbo about a possible fight. This weekend. He's on my teammate, and he rode along. And when we got off the plane, he found out that one of his opponents was out or
Right.
whatnot. So we're still waiting to hear the definite word on him.
I hope it works out. In fact, actually, just a couple minutes ago, I retweeted something he tweeted, and somebody else from Fox had retweeted it because we're all like, "Listen, if anybody knows, what is it?" You even said like you gave a couple of weight class options basically for catch weight, right? So you were just like, "Listen, if anybody knows anybody, hit up Sean Shelby."
Yeah, Aljo, he doesn't care. He wants to get in there. He's ready. He's ready to fight.
That
He's ready to go. He made a long trip over here, so he's looking for anybody.
Yeah, well, I hope that they find something for him. So, this is obviously a really a big deal fight. I think Ross Pearson is such an exciting fighter, and he's a guy that if you can beat Ross Pearson, you've really proved yourself. So, what do you think when this matchup was given to you?
Let's go.
Yeah.
I had been flown up to Halifax for the Nova Scotia that
Mhm.
card up there, and I was doing the guest fighter thing,
Right.
and I got the call when I got off the plane, and my manager was like, we got this opportunity. Do you want it? And I was like, dude, fly me home. Let's go. I wanna start training right away.
Yeah.
I stayed and I fulfilled the obligation that to them, and it was actually a really good experience.
Right.
But there was no hesitation. I just wanted to make sure that Ray and Matt were on board. My
Hmm.
coaches, they loved it. They said, "Let's do this." This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and something that you dream about coming up, and wanted to get to the top as a fighter.
For sure. Now, where do you find him to be the most dangerous?
Definitely his boxing.
Yeah.
He's a good boxer with he's got some power. So
Hmm.
definitely got to be mindful of that. And he's got some good skills on the ground too. So
Hmm.
I think it's going to be a real good fight.
What I like about Ross too, his style is that he doesn't wait for things to happen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Which I feel
definitely.
like gives somebody a great chance to be a counterpuncher and give you an equal opportunity to get things done.
Yep. No, it's definitely a great style matchup. I think he brings the fight all the time. I think a lot of my past fights I've been chasing guys around the
Yeah.
cage. So I don't really see that happening too much in this fight.
And you guys both have a common opponent in Ryan Couture. You both beat Ryan, so there's a little bit of a similarity there. But do you feel that there's been one opponent you've had to date that has kind of prepared you the most for Ross's style?
Hmm. I think really just all of them. Not really as much of a style
Mhm.
matchup. Just really just all of them together, getting the experience in the cage, kind of led up to this fight. I've had some hiccups along the way,
Mhm.
and I think I've grown from that. And I've had like 5 fights in the last a little over a year. I had 5 fights, so I think the experience is definitely gonna help me get feeling more comfortable in the cage.
Nice. No, yeah, actually, speaking of those 5 fights you fought just in September with Rodrigo Dam, where you defeated him, that wasn't really that long ago. Why the fast turnaround?
The opportunity presented itself. I'm ready to, I stay in the gym, stay ready.
Yeah.
Um, it only takes me a couple weeks to get ready for a fight.
Hmm.
Usually by like the fifth or sixth week of training, it's like, there's 2 weeks left and I'm like, let's go already.
Right.
So, this was like, 4 or 5 weeks. It was perfect timing.
Yeah.
as an opportunity like that, you jump at it.
Right, for sure. Well, and the you just mentioned a minute ago there the hiccups there, and I'm guessing you're talking about Mitch Clark and losing to him. I remember after that fight, saying to Mitch, like, for him to beat you is a real big deal, and that's a real feather in his cap. I feel like you were a great achievement for him, but like you said, you learn from your mistakes and you learn from those hiccups. But was there something specifically you thought you did wrong, or was it just one of those nights where you get caught?
Uh, I just think I should have beat the crap out of him in the first round, a lot worse than I did.
Yeah.
I really think my skills are, head and shoulders above his, and it showed in the first round, but not to the extent that I should. I should have finished that guy in the first round.
Yeah.
That he shouldn't have made it to the second round, and if I finish a guy like that, there's no opportunity for him to. If I just keep putting a beating on, I slowed up for a second and I kind of just held him, and it was a position that he was comfortable in, that he was really good at, and he caught me. So it's what it is, and now I just gotta keep working hard and full steam ahead. It's not gonna be no more hiccups.
For sure. Well, I love your coaches, Ray and Matt. I was there not too long ago at the gym. I was doing a show with Chris, and so I got to hang out with them a little bit. Matt has been out to LA to do UFC Tonight with us and do some analyst stuff. Now, I talked to Ray after Matt came on the show. Did you say anything to Matt before or after the show? Because Matt's all like, it's Matt Serra, you know what I mean? He's all, he's all got his flow and everything. He got there, he was a little nervous.
No, he definitely, he said that it took a little while for him to get adjusted to everything. People telling him when he had to talk and what about, exactly. But I think the first time he wasn't too happy with, how he did. But the second time, I think he got a lot more comfortable, and I thought it was awesome. I thought both times were awesome.
Yeah.
But it was definitely cool to see him get on the analyst, get in there and do his thing with that. It was fun.
Yeah, and I really like working with him, so I think we will have him back because he has so much personality. Really, that was our thing with him. It was like, dude, just be you. Like, we just want Matt Serra, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Just go,
and his breaking down the fights, that was, unbelievable. I thought it was great how he came across breaking down the fights, and he showed his knowledge for the sport, which I get to see in the gym every day. But I guess a lot of people just get to see him, bullshitting with Ray and Matt and the team and stuff and Chris. But to see him really break down the fights and show all his knowledge, that was that's what he's all about.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I have to ask too. Was there a change in the camp? Obviously you've been there for a while, and with Chris holding the title, but I feel like after the Machida fight, it was kind of like all of a sudden everyone was like, well, shoot, you know what I mean? Like, Chris, the respect level for Chris, I think, went up. And, I was even one of those people, I admit it, I thought Lyoto could steal that fight. Lyoto's so tricky. And then after that fight, I was like, well, I'll never bet against Chris again. Was there a change in the camp at all? Did you feel a sense of, like, I don't know, not like a weight lifted, but, like there was a sense of, like, ownership of the championship title now a little bit more after the Lyoto fight?
I think the change was with everybody else. I think we knew in the gym how good Chris was.
Yeah.
We've seen him, day in, day out. There was no doubt of what he was going to do in that fight with Lyoto. Right. I think people questioned his stand-up. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of us questioned his stand-up. We've seen him in the gym just demolish pro boxers and guys, very highly touted guys that he comes in and just really just, takes a dump on him. I don't know, but that's the only way. I don't know how else to put it.
That's a great image.
guys, pro boxers are telling them to put on 20-ounce gloves because they don't like getting hit hard with 16-ounce gloves.
Wow.
So this is the stuff we see in the gym that people don't see. Yeah. So it's everyone else doubting it, and we knew what was going to happen. We had a very good image of how the fight was going to go.
Right. That's so cool, and to me it was like I said, I knew he was good, and I was at both of those Anderson fights, and it was just one of those things. It was like it made me happy. You know what I mean? Like when you really feel like somebody was rising to the occasion and being like everything that or that they could be. It was just like such a great showing for him then. I was really, really impressed.
No, for sure, yeah. It's it's inspiring to everyone in the gym every day.
For sure. So now I noticed that you have been tweeting also about watching The Ultimate Fighter. So are you getting into this season with the strawweights?
Uh, a little bit.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen the first I haven't seen the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
I just bought a house and I
Oh,
didn't
nice.
have cable.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't have cable. I was trying to like do like the Ultimate Fighter thing, be like a fight, have a
Right.
couple fighters living with me in the house.
Oh,
So
nice.
we were like no cable, just training
Yeah,
and
yeah.
eating kind of thing. But I broke down and yeah, I got cable because I would sneak over to my parents' house to watch the fights and
Yeah.
stuff.
Nice.
That was getting annoying. So I just broke down. I got cable and now I've been getting back into the season and definitely think they're the top strawweights in the world. So I think you're not going to see any better competition than that. And yeah, it's a good season so far.
Yeah, it's entertaining, but it's interesting the way you guys did it on the live season. I mean, you went through so much, and I really, when you look back on it, and you think about how banged up you guys were going into those fights. I mean, I feel like you had the hardest season ever.
Yeah, I think it was the hardest for the length of it, and I think we had some of the most talented guys. I mean, you
Yeah.
look now, everyone on that season's for the most part doing really well.
Right.
So it was definitely a great experience. It definitely pisses me off when people complain about that 6 weeks. I'm like,
Right.
geez, 6 weeks. We weren't even halfway through at 6 weeks.
Right. Right.
And they're saying, "Oh, it was the worst experience. I would never do it again." It was like for me, it was a great experience. I had 13 weeks with, I was training with Team Alpha Male and
Yeah. Yeah.
eight of the hottest prospects at 155. It was like
Right.
I got so much better on there. I grew, in 13 weeks. I feel like I gained like 10 years of experience. It was
Right.
just, in the cost to bring in all those guys to train like that, it'd be crazy.
Hmm.
So it was really, there's nowhere you get training like that. It was a really unique experience.
And is that why you were rooting for Money Mendez the other night too? You had a real bond with Team Alpha Male.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He was in the gym training with us on Tough.
He's
I've been
so
out
good.
there. Yeah, yeah. I've trained with all those guys. So
Yeah.
he's no he's really unbelievable. I
Right.
mean, and I was happy with I was upset that he didn't get the victory, but the fight was so great. I mean, he's got to feel awesome about that.
For
So
sure. Well,
you know,
it was recently too. I was talking to Darren Cruikshank, and now you're talking about the guys that are doing so well. Miles Jury, going to be in the co-main event, a guy that you beat. So for you, you're just like, yeah, whatever. I mean, people are talking a lot about Miles, and when I work with Dominic, he really sings his praises. But it is like you said. There were Mike Chiesa's doing well. A lot of guys really are. I feel like the next generation. Like you guys are the ones that are going to be the champs in a couple of years.
yeah, no, for sure. I think there'll be a lot of. I think we'll see each other all the way up until the top. I
Right.
think that's we're gonna be in the game in the division for a while, so it's gonna be fun to see how it plays out. And it's fun to. I always see Mike and Sam Cecilia at the
Yeah.
fights and stuff, so it's fun to always run into those guys and kind of reminisce about the old tough days
The
and
good old
stuff.
days.
Yeah,
And when you
and
see Anik too, I'm sure.
oh yeah, yeah, him too. When I saw him when I was in Halifax, and it was just what they announced the Ross Pearson fight, and he was so
Yeah.
happy because
Right.
I mean that was kind of like his beginning was the tough
Yeah.
live. Like we kind of got our start at the same time, so it was
Right.
really cool.
And
He
well,
was
I was joking with Darren too about the day because they had I don't know if you remember this when the day they let you guys out of the house and they had a lunch, and you guys all came in and just attacked them with food. I remember
Yep.
we like all backed up and just let you, and you guys were like hadn't been outside or whatever. It was hilarious. It was really fun, and I look back on those interviews and I look back now, and like I said, like you guys are all doing so well. It was really cool to be there for that.
Yeah, no, I remember that day. It was like I was almost like shelter shocked or
Right,
something.
right, right.
I didn't know how to interact with normal people
Right.
anymore. I was just I was used to being in a house with a bunch of stinky dudes
Right.
just lounging around. Now we had to be like proper and
Yeah, yeah.
curse and stuff. But it was that was a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
for sure. So now listen, obviously this is a big deal fight for you. Ross Pearson is a guy who everybody knows his name, you know what I mean? If you're a fight fan, it's not like you're going around going, well, I'm fighting this dude who's really good at this. It's like Ross Pearson, and everybody knows what to expect here. So So now we're, what is it? We got like 8 days, 9 days or so. So when are you still working out a little? Obviously, you're still flowing your body a little bit, but when do you have to start cutting weight?
Usually like, I don't cut too much, but I keep my weight pretty low. Like Tuesday, Wednesday before is when I
Yeah.
start to really, I drink a lot of water. I do the water loading thing
Yeah.
and just start sweating it all out. So it's a couple days.
Right.
I'll get until then. I'll get a couple really hard training sessions in. Really feel good. I'm acclimate. Last night was the first. I've been here for like 2 days already. Last night was the first good training session I had
Yeah.
where I felt back to normal. The flight and the time difference
Right.
kind of wore off, and I felt good.
Well, and that's cool. And actually, with it being on Fight Pass, it benefits you because when I was there a couple years ago it was the end of the Tough Smashes. We had the fights at like 9 o'clock in the morning because they wanted to air it, back in the States. So the fact that you get to do it local time actually helps you a lot too.
I think the fight's still. I think it's still going to be that way.
Is it?
I'm
Well,
pretty
because I
sure.
know it's airing here for our Friday, your Saturday.
Yeah,
So I don't know. Maybe I'm making something
yeah. I
up.
think
I don't
I
know.
think it's. I think my fight will be like around noon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the prelim cards are going to be. They're going to have to get the. They're
Oh,
going to
they
have to
are
get.
early then.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it was interesting because the Aussies didn't care and they got drunk anyway.
Oh, that's. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the crowd is and everything
Yeah.
over here. We were walking home from the train yesterday after
Yeah.
training, and we ran into some guys, and they they were pretty drunk, and they were all about the fighting. They said,
Yeah,
it's huge over here, so
for
it was
sure.
it's going to be interesting. I'm glad that I got this opportunity, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Awesome. Yeah, no, they were really cool people, great fans, and I had such a wonderful time over there. I definitely wanted to stay. Couple things I meant to ask you about as well. Eddie Truck Gordon, you got another Ultimate Fighter guy in there, and he won the show. That dude's a beast, huh? How good
Oh,
is he gonna be?
he's going to be good. Truck is a beast, yo. He's he's worked so hard.
Yeah,
He came into the gym an overweight, out of shape guy that had zero. He had a little wrestling
yeah,
background, and he's transformed himself into a monster. And
yeah.
it's awesome to see a guy that just works hard and gets what he deserves. He sees that it's out there and he's
Hmm.
getting it. So
Very
it's
cool.
inspiring.
And lastly, I have to ask, and I know everybody asks you about it, but that commercial you guys did for the jewelry store was so good.
Don't tap out your bank account, Karen. Don't do it.
we were in the avocado room at work at Fox, and everybody was like, "Hold on, wait a minute," right? And like we put this thing on, and we were dying. I mean, I swear you have brought us so much joy over there because it was so
Oh,
classic. It was awesome. You got to keep going. You got to do a whole series of those.
we should, right? Yeah, it's my buddy. My buddy, his father owns the Oyster Bay jewelry gallery. So
Nice.
he asked us to do it, and it was fun.
It's
It was
classic.
we had a lot of laughs. We probably had just as many laughs as you had making it. It
Nice.
was it was just a fun day, and it was good.
It was funny. Well, what I love too is that the girl, she couldn't care less. Like she's not even looking at Chris. She's like not even interested.
That's Chris's wife.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
It
it is.
isn't that because she looks so funny and she's just like doesn't even. She's like not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
registering.
No, it was funny. We
That
did
is
that take had to. It took like that was the longest take because Chris he got better as it went on, but he
right,
couldn't remember those lines for
right,
anything. It
right.
was it was funny.
So great, so great. Well, thanks for being a good sport about that and letting us
Yeah.
have a laugh. Well, listen, and awesome. I know you got a full day ahead of you, and I really appreciate you taking the time. It's going to be a great fight. You're the co-main event against Ross Pearson. Who do you like in the main event? You like Bisping or Rockhold?
I really don't know. It's gonna be a good fight. I think if it ends early, it's probably gonna be Rockhold. But
Hmm.
I think Bisping's always in it to win it. He's tough and he's coming to take the fight. It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah, I
It's gonna
think
be
Bisping is underrated, and then people see him fight, and they're like, "Oh snap, that guy's good!" Like everybody doesn't realize how good he is.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's why it's a tough one to pick. But I'm looking forward to seeing the fight for sure.
Yeah, well, stay out of the way during the stare down because I know those two are going to get in the.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yep, there's been a lot of heat.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's going to
it's
be great.
good build up for the fight for
For
sure.
sure, for sure. Well, awesome. Thanks so much for talking today, and we'll see you in just a little over a week.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Karen.
CL.
Bye bye.